Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another live league game of the day. Today, we are on the bitter end. This is a base light matchup in the standard pool. This is a cool matchup, folks, because there's lots and lots of terrain and lots of ways that this map can go. And we're featuring jffj and myself today because I made a rare appearance in the live league, and I thought that I would cast it because I thought it was a pretty fun match. Alrighty, folks, so our CO choices today are Jess and Adder. So Jess will have a plus 10% firepower bonus on her vehicle units, but lose 10% firepower on all other units. Her turbocharge co-power will boost her vehicle units movement by 1, increase the firepower bonus, and replenish her ammunition and fuel. And then overdrive will boost that movement by plus 2 and more firepower, and also replenish her fuel and ammo. So very good CO indeed. Now Jess is probably a little bit more underrated than people think, especially on a map with a comm tower. Her having access to that 120% firepower for her vehicle units can be huge, very huge. Now I chose to play as Adder today. Now Adder, no day-to-day abilities, Sidewinder and Side Slip abilities will give him plus 1 movement and plus 2 movement respectively for his co-powers. That's it. But I like Adder for this matchup personally because there's copters, and there's going to be lots of copters because this is a copter heavy map in DDO. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one and see what went down. So on day 1, 2, and 3, we have some standard infantry builds. Pretty soon, as soon as we do this thing. What are we doing? What are we doing? There we go. Standard infantry builds, because you gotta get the infantry on the field, folks. Number 1 priority. And we are going down for some standard capture chains. Now, basically the exact same thing going on for both of the players at the moment. Yep, that's about it. So I decided to skip this property, and he actually also decided to skip this property. I don't really think it's like necessary to get that property soon. I like getting the infantry down here and trying to grab some of these cities first. If you're really quick and your opponent is really slow, you can actually get to a position where you can deny the comm tower for your opponent. But it really just depends on if you can get there quick and they get there slow. That's what it really comes down to. So I decided to build a tank out of the back property here. I'm thinking about maybe sending it here and then sending it down here, but I could also send it here and send it into mid. So I thought that was okay, mostly because I wanted to get some infantry over here. And it looks like jffj decides to build this tank out of here, this bottom property. That's going to allow him to push it right here and immediately guard the comm tower capture, like right away. So any dreams I had about maybe denying that comm tower are probably not going to come true. It's just a little bit too risky with the tank presence there. Now, if there was no tank presence, I would say absolutely go and try to deny the comm tower, but it's not really necessarily worth it to deny a comm tower when you're just going to lose an infantry and they're just going to get the comm tower anyways. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not worth it. Not worth it. So we're just going to let him get the comm tower. Decide to capture this property instead of delay the property. Thought it was an overall good move. So I moved my tank right here. Now, this is in range of 2 of his tanks, but my thought process, now I don't know if this is necessarily like super correct or anything, but my thought process was, okay, so he can go up and he can attack. So I would let him attack these units, right? So he would bring these 2 tanks in, but then I would first strike 2 of his tanks, and then have another tank coming down here, and force him into a tank battle right here. That was my thought. That was my thought. I was like, if he's going to go into that, I can force him into a tank battle on my terms, right? And fight right here, where he would have like limited terrain, and I would maybe have some more terrain, but he did not do it. He didn't go for it, folks. He didn't take the bait. But he bought a copter. So this is the one thing I'm talking about with this map too, is like copters are very, very good on this map. You see copters a lot. And that's why I picked Adder, because Adder, good copters. You know, Sidewinder. It's the way to go. It's some good stuff, folks. But I do have a comm tower now. He's also got a comm tower, so he's got 120% attack on his vehicle units. So all these tanks are 120. All my tanks are 110, so I mean they're not that far behind, but they ain't 120, that's for sure. That is for sure. But my infantry are stronger than his infantry, so that's pretty cool. It does not really appear that I can go and capture many other properties at the moment, but I'm gonna move in and do a couple shimmies, and everything is looking good. So I started capturing on these two properties. I actually forgot to move this. As we were playing, so that guy just kind of like sat there and chilled out on the road. You know, the most vulnerable terrain that this guy could possibly be sitting on. He's just chilling on it. But I think maybe it's not necessarily too bad. You know, he could bring in a tank and attack it. He could interrupt his own cap and attack it. But I mean, if he did bring in his tank and attack it, I could first strike it from like a plane and get like a pretty good hit on it, but that's about it. So maybe he thought it was bait, but what it really was forgetfulness. That's what it was, folks. It was forgetfulness. I can't remember what was going on at that moment, but it was not my undivided attention for sure. Alright, so day 9 already, folks, and he's got an anti-air on the field, 2 copters, and 4 tanks. And good infantry position, actually. You know what? This is a fairly defended area. I would not be able to push into this too easily. And he's got a lot of presence down here, and I got some tanks right here. So I have to, like, figure out what I'm gonna do. So I decided to try to go for this property. I could go for this one, but he's got too much stuff there, so I can't do it. You know, it's not really worth it to go for that. So I moved the artillery over here. I bought an artillery, by the way, folks, because artillery are actually pretty good in Alive if you can figure out how to use them. So you know what? If you, like I said, if you have a chance, get the arties on the field, folks. They're pretty good. But I also spam more copters because copters is sweet, and you gotta get the copters. Move my tank back 1 just so I don't get immediately blasted by a tank. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I wouldn't, but if he does manage to, let's say, like, do that, take out the infantry, he could hit my tank, and I don't really want that. Not that that would be necessarily a good attack, but, you know, just limit the options for attacking. Ooh, he goes up and interrupts my infantry, so he gets first blood here. Right there, we got some first blood, and it is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Takes it all the way down to 6, but unfortunately for him, I have a black boat right here. So this guy's gonna get healed up to 7. And I'm also gonna grab this property. So it should be pretty good. So I grab the property, and this is when I'm like, I decided to take my time here. A little bit. I took like a little bit of time, I'm pretty sure, because I had to think about how to position myself so that I don't get completely destroyed. And I decided to attack from this tile up here, which I thought was the best move, because then I moved my artillery, or anti-air, right here. And unless he wants to stop the cap on his own property, he has to attack my infantry from this tile with the copter. In which I could attack with the anti-air from this tile here, taking out the battlecopter in its entirety. But that was the thought with that. The other problem here is I have a tank that is in position of 2 units that can potentially destroy it, right? And I mean, even if he moved in with copter tank and destroyed this, and even if like anti-air came in, he could just attack anti-air with tank right afterwards. But then I got a battlecopter, so you know what? Maybe not the best trade, but I decided to go and take out this infantry here with my tank, because screw him, you know. Screw him, I don't want him around. I do a double shot on this infantry right here on the mountain, and then I start capping the southern property. Now, I don't expect to get the southern property, but I'm capping the southern property because I want him to draw some forces over here, because this is what I'm starting to think. I'm starting to have an idea about something, and it involves leaving this property open. And I was having an idea here, and I was thinking to myself, it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe he'll bring some stuff in here, and I can just like come back and attack it when he moves all the stuff in there. You know, that's what I was thinking. I don't know the extent of how much stuff he could bring in there, but that was my thought. I was like, yeah, he could bring some stuff in there, and maybe I can attack it. And also, because of the black boat heal on this infantry here, this infantry was only able to do like 40%, taking it down to 3, which means that unless he wants to go in with one of his vehicles, I get that cap. Yeah, strats. It's all about the strats, folks. All right, he goes in with 3 infantry, and he builds a classy medium tank. What a gentleman jffj is. I remember when I saw this classy boy, I was like, would you just look at it? Would you just look at its classy features over here? It's beautiful. It's honestly, like I said, honestly, it's a work of art. But anyways, so he went in for the attack that I was thinking about, and I was like, this is good. This is actually really good for me. It is really good, and I'll show you why. Because I do this. I do a thing. You know, I was having a thought, and I did a thing. I go up and destroy this infantry, so I can't cap that property. And then I cover my comm tower, because I don't want him to start a cap there. And I move the anti-air in, and I take a shot on that infantry. Then I move a tank in, and then I do other stuff, like destroy this 9 HP infantry with my artillery. Boom! Take him out. Move some of my infantry back. And then I just start going all in. Going all in, folks. I'm bringing these guys back over here. And not that this is necessarily a good move that I would suggest people do, but I had a plan. I had a plan with this as well. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm thinking, like, I want him to, like, come up and, like, attack in here and not push over here and cause me more grief. So I'm thinking, like, okay, I'm gonna leave something open so that if he pushes in here, I can fight back, right? So I'm leaving this artillery open in hopes that he comes up and attacks it. That's the thought. That is the thought. I don't know if he's gonna go for it, but that is the thought. But I did a massive front shift over here and actually pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6, 7. So I have like 7 units over here that are pretty much ready to fight on the front line if this anti-air gets hit. So he's not going to be able to fight up with all these guys. And I did a pretty good chunk of damage to him. So yeah, he goes up and attacks the anti-air, taking it all the way down to 3, but he brings both of his battlecopters in, and he goes up and attacks my artillery with that tank, like I thought. Like I thought would happen. But he'd bring in the classy medium tank in, which is pretty spooky. And he takes out one of my infantry, which is also kind of spooky. That's very unfortunate. I was not hoping that wasn't going to happen, but obviously it's going to happen. But yeah, so he went up and he did an attack. He's ahead on value now, like quite a bit, like 118,000 to like 94,000. I was like, oh, did I make a mistake? Did I make a mistake? I don't know. I don't know if I made a mistake, but I was thinking to myself, like, no, like, I didn't make a mistake. This is gonna be fine, right? So I go up and I attack this guy, take him down a hefty chunk. Then I 3-pronged attack this tank to take that guy completely out. And now I got copters. Boom! Rush in a copter. Rush in another copter. Rush in another copter. Take out a tank. So from the cost of this artillery getting just hit, it took a pretty big hit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It took a huge hit. But at the cost of that, I managed to take out a tank. for that engagement. So I thought that was pretty good, you know? And like, I could use my side slip, but I don't really want to just yet. I also do finish off this little battlecopter with a tank of my own, which I thought was pretty good, you know? It was a pretty, like 11 to 20% luck roll or something, so, I mean, I guess I rolled pretty high on that one. I was fairly satisfied with it, I'm not gonna lie, but I am actually, I'm not behind on properties yet, but I'm gonna be behind on properties, because I can't stop this cap over here. But I'm winning, like, the unit count battle. I'm only slightly ahead in unit value, so I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily winning in unit value, but I go double arty. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to get them on the field, folks. I didn't feel like using a classy boy just yet, so I went with the double arty. But he goes up and attacks this this tank with his medium tank, which is a pretty big attack, but he could have probably just popped his co-power and got the one shot, right? So I mean, that's a possibility, but I think he wants to, there might be a reason why he's using the +2 movement. I can't quite remember exactly what it is, but I think there is a reason. So let's find out what the reason is, folks. Let's find out together. Ooh, he does a big shot to this guy, but he lives because it's Jess, and Jess's infantry are not that good. He pops the overdrive after doing this engagement over here, which if he popped the turbocharge, he probably would have one-shot that guy, no problem. But I think what he was trying to do here was, yes, he was trying to wall break over here, which is very, very good awareness right here that you're able to do this. So he plops right in there, and he takes on my battlecopter, which is super annoying because I like my battlecopter. Not really sure what this battlecopter was trying to accomplish here by attacking the black boat, but it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, and it actually leaves his battlecopter fairly vulnerable, which is not good, at all. But he moves the infantry right here to block the immediate attack. But Adder is a slippery dude. He's a slippery guy, and he can come out of nowhere and just do wild things, like pop the super co-power sidewinder. We got a sidewinder, folks. We popped it, and we're gonna find out why. We're gonna find out why, because of this. This guy rushes in here, and then this guy goes, and then we take out that battlecopter. Easy peasy, sniped. And then we continue the attack. So the infantry are rolling in, the tanks are rolling in, we're attacking anti-air, we're attacking infantry. We are doing combo attacks here, and the 1 HP infantry survives and destroys the other 1 HP infantry, as the good Lord intended. That's how it should have been from day one. Alrighty. And we get double attacks on tanks. We finish off a anti-air. And then I do a silly. I actually leave this guy completely vulnerable. Did not mean to do that. That was definitely just live league things, folks. That was definitely live league things. So that was an oversight. This medium tank is definitely in position to attack this guy, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 copters. So if the medium tank does go in and attack that guy, boom, 4 copters. 4 copters. Oh, and they're so ready. They're so ready. But he does manage to break his tank out a little bit. So this guy is gonna get away. He's gonna run. He's gonna gain some ground. And jffj is actually starting to gain some unit count again, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Now, I brought this artillery down here in hopes that I could snipe out one of these guys. I should probably just brought him right here, because then I could at least guarantee a hit on one of the guys. But hindsight, you know. So I go in for a three-pronged attack. Yeah, I do a 3-pronged attack on the medium tank. I could have finished it off, with another copter, but I didn't want to. I don't remember why I didn't want to, but there is a reason for it, but it kind of eludes me at this point. But we do massive damage to this medium tank for now. I think maybe I just didn't want him to have his power right away. That could have been it, but either way, not a huge deal. I build a bomber. Classy boy of the sky, folks. Classy boy of the sky. Some people, and I'm not going to name names, but some people out there, some people buy Neo tanks. And those people are stinky. We don't buy Neo tanks on the Mr. Cannon anymore. Doesn't happen, and if it does happen, you best know that I definitely have some soap, and we're gonna be cleaning the stench off of us immediately if it ever happens again. But classy boy of the sky, you know, it's beautiful. It is a work of art. Fantastic stuff. But jffj, super classy man, has 3 medium tanks deployed on the field. And this copter is looking, these copters are looking the opposite direction. So weird. I don't know why. Actually, it's probably because it's probably because I messed up the screen earlier. That's probably it. Whatever, we'll just get rid of that guy. Just get rid of him. Okay, it's fine. He doesn't exist anymore. It's perfect. Okay. Then we continue on. We attack a few more infantry. Mech takes out the medium tank. We block our artillery with an infantry. Double block with an infantry. Leaving myself vulnerable again here. But like I said, if he does go up and take the attack, then Mech gets the engagement on the anti-air, which is pretty good. Not gonna lie, that would be a pretty good one. But I built double tank because I'm kind of like really low in the tank count, and if he starts pumping out anti-air, then I'm gonna need tanks, right? I can't fight off anti-air with just battlecopters and artillery. It's not a thing that's really gonna happen. So then the turbocharge happens. The turbocharge happens, and he's at 14 unit count at the moment, so it's going okay. It's going okay for me. And he's attempting to flip another property, but he is ahead in properties. Like, he's 21 to 20 at the moment. So it's like he's got the blackjack, and I only got like 2 10s. I need to draw an ace. That's what needs to happen. Alright, so we are going to snipe out some infantry with our battlecopters up north. Just make sure that you can't capture any more properties. And then we bring the bomber slightly closer, and then we build the classy boy of our own. So we finally got the classy boy out on the field. He's there. He's looking good. He is ready for combat. 100% ready. Now, JF's got like some attacks that he could do here, but he's going to be fighting into artillery and bomber territory. Artillery, bomber, battlecopter, tank, and mech territory if he goes up and does the attack, which he does. So he's going up, and he brings the medium tanks forward too. Pretty risky stuff, folks. Pretty risky stuff. So how do I respond? I use a side slip, just one little tiny co-power. Now I do this just so I can get some movement right here, because I want to be able to take that guy out, and I want to get a heal, and I want to move that guy there. So I attack the anti-air first, take out the anti-air, take out the classy boy with the classy boy of the sky, and then I have to surround the bomber. Now, unfortunately, the bomber is not completely secure. As a matter of fact, it's not even remotely secure. But I kind of figured that it was going to get hit, and I was willing to take the risk. 100% willing to take the risk. Because I needed to get rid of one of those classy boys. Because I only have one, and he had 2. And he can't have more classy boys than me. It's just, it's unheard of. We can't allow that. And he moves up and he attacks my bomber. And he's got a fighter, which is like even crazier. So that's one of the other reasons why I went up and I took the bomber strike. Because I knew that if I had to deal with a fighter and 2 medium tanks, you know, the bomber's only going to have like 1 shot to do an attack. And then like after that, it's just like, it's all done. So we go up, we take out a classy boy, and we are happy. We are completely happy with the results here. So this is a move that I'm kind of like, I was feeling pretty confident about this move, and I was thinking it over a little bit, and I was like, okay, do I attack the medium tank? Do I attack this guy? Like, what kind of order of attack do I do for this one? So I decide on this one here. So I go in, attack those guys, and then I pop the side slip for a little extra movement and firepower, and I attack the anti-air. And then I attack the other anti-air. So we take out both of the anti-airs. Now the main reason why I take out both of the anti-airs is because I have primarily copters. 1, 2, 3. And he's got 1 fighter, and he does have an anti-air on the way, but it's not here yet. And he just uses power, so he's not going to have his power. So I'm like, okay, this is okay. I can work with this, you know? I can bring my copters in. I can attack his copter. I can attack the medium tank, so it's not full health, so it can't attack mine effectively. And then I can keep attacking this little pesky black boat sitting here. So maybe someday in the future, I may or may not be able to capture that HQ. Now, it does look like I'm probably going to be able to get the HQ eventually. But we'll see. We'll see, because he did just attack my infantry, so that guy's a little bit weakened now. And the fighter moves in, and some more tanks move in, taking more shots here. And then the medium tank is kind of vulnerable, but he moves back. He pulls back, and then he builds another medium tank to counter my medium tank. And it's like, now we're 2 for 2. But I see a play here as well. So I move this guy here, attack this guy. This guy did just attack my infantry that's attempting to flip the property down here. But now he's got a choice. So now he either continues the attack here, or he interrupts this cap, or I get both. Just one or the other. You know? That's it. Those are the options. I either get both, or I get both eventually. Those are the only options that we have here. I did manage to see an attack on the fighter as well here, so we did take that, obviously, and I attacked the other anti-air and just continue the attack on the HQ. So we're almost there. We're almost there. We got it. It's coming. Day 20. Boom. Fighter moves up, takes a shot on this guy. 100% going down next turn. And unfortunately, my battlecopter that I overextended is gone. That guy is not going to be coming back anytime soon. And now he's got 2 medium tanks in the front. 2 medium tanks right here, ready to strike into the heart of this little area. So, oh boy. But it is Mr. C's turn. And we use the bomber to snipe off the last anti-air. So now we have an uncontested 1 HP classy boy of the sky, ready and willing to do the dirty work, folks. Ready and willing to do the dirty work, and he's gonna get it done. He is going to get it done. Now, I'm not going for an HQ cap because a 5 HP mech HQ cap, and I don't know, it's probably not gonna happen. So I moved the medium tank onto it instead, just for the extra defense. In hindsight, I probably should have bought like an infantry, but classy boys. Gotta get the classy boys. Alright, he's got overdrive. Let's see what he can do with the overdrive, because he's only got 8 units left, so I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't just resigned at this point too. But I mean, he's got the heart of the classy boys in him, and they are just getting her done. I mean, he's got so much time too. He's got like 23 minutes. It's wild. But yeah, this is very, very open. So pop the Sidewinder because I wanted to go super. Join cap on that, and we are going to be getting the comm tower and this property flip unless he interrupts it. And I do massive damage to the classy boys. Almost taking out 2 classy boys that turn. Almost. So close. So close. But unfortunately, one of my classy boys is down to 5 HP. And it does get eliminated, and he does move on to the HQ. But builds the pipe runner, and that's the resign. So, we did manage to pull off a win on our return to the Live League. Perhaps this is once again the road to 700, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, folks. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, I thought jffj played pretty well overall here. The only problem is pretty much the moment when the battle shifted was when he went up to go and attack right here and take these, and then I front shift. So by doing the front shift here, I kind of take all these units out of the equation temporarily, and I'm able to win a fight up here while these guys are still out of the fight. So by doing that, he brings it in, and now it's an even fight again. But because I already won up here, I just managed to slowly whittle away his units, right? So that's what we managed to do. Either way, I would have eliminated those guys and eventually gotten that HQ. It would have been great. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. And take care of yourselves, folks. And bye-bye for now.